What is up, Toronto Raptor fans? We're here after another loss to the Indiana Pacers. Why do we got to do this to ourselves? We have a nice lead at the beginning of the game. We have a good strategy. There's no Miles Turner. We're going into the paint. We're going to dominate the paint. We're going to just focus on the paint. We're not going to set up for the three. We're going to drive the ball to a cutter, into the lane, into Pirtle, whatever option we need to get it down low, and then we're going to score. And that seems to be working. Seems to be working throughout most of the game, actually. We got away from it a little bit in the third quarter, but got back to it for most of the fourth. And then suddenly, with 3 minutes left in the game, we fall apart. We've got PASCAL SIAKAM on defense with 5 fouls against him. We got Scotty Barnes going in against him. He's got 29 points in the game. He's looking like the all-star that he has achieved for this weekend. And what do? Go to RJ Barrett for the final play of the game? What the hell are we doing? Gary Trent Jr., can you hit the side of a frickin' barn? And Barnes, I know you're going to the All-Star game, but could you check your toe like when you're trying to pull a Kevin Durant here? Oh, very, very, very upsetting. I mean, not even that horrible of a game. Uh, from some of our guys. Like I said, Scotty had 29, RJ Barrett with 23. We got Jakob Poeltl with 19, Emmanuel Quickly with 14. Even Bruce Brown looked like he gave a crapperino in the first half. But of course, what happens? I start to actually think for a second, maybe this guy does have some value. Maybe he was worth that first round pick, which obviously he wasn't. We should have got rid of him anyway. We should have traded him for a bag of new balls. That might have been worth it. Basketballs, I'm talking. Uh, you got 12 points. And again, I got to find a breakdown by quarter website because he had, I'm sure he had all of those in the first half. And in the second half, he just was turning over the ball, passing up the ball, not knowing what the hell he's doing with the ball, missing shots. The guy was 5 of 9, which again isn't horrible, 55, but it's the timing of this guy's points, I think. I mean, it's so funny because, yes, I did watch the playoffs and I saw him come in for timely minutes, hitting threes when it mattered, hitting threes when it counted, getting you 2 points when you needed them. That has not been the case in his Toronto Raptors career. He was a -7, but yeah, like I said, 12 points. They only credit him with one turnover. And then sadly, Olynyk went down, couldn't play the rest of the game. Dick had a pretty sweet game. That there were a couple of Dick plays. He made a quick. I think Scotty got him with a pass. It was sort of a breakaway turnover situation. He kind of actually disrupted the pass and caused the turnover, and then broke out. Man, I don't know what. He kept the ball away from the defender, but man, he did one of those spins. It's funny. My uncle's a coach for Simon Fraser, and he was teaching my son, saying, "You know what? You want to get really good at basketball? Just practice even against the wall, just how to spin that ball and learn, where you can put it in from where. If you're not having a straight line to just get a nice bank shot off the backboard, or obviously a swish into the hoop, practicing that spinning, it will teach you that you'll be able to, have an off balance or a bad angle shot, but put the right spin and it goes in anyway. Grady Dick obviously listened to those lessons because man, this play was so fast and he put it out here and it wasn't in the square on the backboard. It was over to the right and it had enough spin that it just went like it was barely even higher than the rim. It was amazing, amazing. Anyway, I recommend going and checking out the replay of the highlights for that. He ended up with 7 points, but yeah, not all threes. He was only 1 of 4 from three, so that was a sweet one from the corner when we needed it. My man Boucher got into this game, did well, 10 minutes, because sadly because of Olynyk going down. But hey, at least it's Canadian on Canadian taking over the time. But yeah, 10 minutes, 10 points. It was impressive. No turnovers, a block. He had a steal. He had 4 rebounds. He was hustling. He was getting the ball. He was getting putbacks. It was nice. Sadly, he only had 1 3 attempt and missed, and he missed a couple of free throws. But I'm not complaining. Overall, Boucher, great game. The man who continues to disappoint me, and I supported this guy. Go look at any of my videos from last year. It's getting embarrassing actually. Gary Trent Jr. What are you doing, bro? Where are like you're getting the starting minutes, which I had said before he was a basket case. Then I thought maybe it was because of the trade deadline that he was a basket case, but now he might just be a basket case. 8 points, 29 minutes, 8 points. Gary, what are you doing? 3 of 9, 2 of 6 from three. Are they not running plays for you? You know, have you? He looks like he doesn't know what he's doing out there. He's giving up the ball the quickly too, like he's giving up the ball too quickly, but he's also giving the ball up too quickly. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, it's not a good trend to see. And what I really would like to talk about for a minute is why did we get rid of Pascal Siakam? I need to ask this question again. Imagine a lineup going forward of Pascal Siakam at power forward, which, by the way, after that trade, they started to say the top power forward in the league. So, we would have had a solid center in Jakob Poeltl, the best power forward in the league in Pascal Siakam, Scotty Barnes as I guess with him at power forward, he could be, just the forward, the three, I guess, our small forward, although he's not small, our big, thick, solid forward. Then we've got either maybe we have Gary Trent starting, although he doesn't deserve it. So RJ would probably take that spot. And, until Gary could prove that he could actually be consistent, he's got to come off the bench. And then Emmanuel quickly as our point guard. Then we do the rotation thing that we're doing where Scotty leads the second unit as the point guard. Obviously, we wouldn't have Olenek and some of these other guys, but we got Scotty Barnes as our backup point guard. Gary Trent now coming off the bench, I guess, if it's not RJ. RJ was drafted third overall. Believe me, I understand. He deserves to start, and I think he's played amazing since he's come over from the Knicks. I'm just trying to get Gary into that mindset still that he's a starter. You know what I mean? We could actually start him and then just swap him out for RJ right away, which I've also suggested in the past. But you got Scotty at point off the bench or as our second unit, Gary Trent as our shooting guard, Grady Dick as our small forward, or maybe even our power forward because he's a pretty tall dude. But anyway, I like him as a small forward, hitting those threes from the corner. And then we got Boucher as our Boucher could be the power forward, and we could have this Jonte Porter guy as our backup center. Because sadly, I liked Koloko and thought that he had some potential, but that breathing issue that he's got, not working out. But yeah, Pascal Siakam, if you look at this guy's letter to the Raptors for leaving, he said that he never thought of himself as being on another team. He never thought of himself as any other player but a Raptor. Why can't we embrace that? This guy is durable. This guy is athletic and fit. Like he is going to play into his late 30s and still be serviceable. And why would we not want to keep a tie into the championship team from 2019? For those of you that don't remember, a guy that could continue to mentor Scotty Barnes and keep the pressure off him as the number one at the end of the game. A guy that can prove at the end of the game, as he did tonight, hitting the winning shot for the Pacers, that he still, has the mindset and the ability to be that go-to guy when needed. And as we develop Scotty Barnes, then we could confuse the other team, and you don't know who it's going to go to, and then we get surprised them like we did tonight and give it to RJ Barrett at the end of the game. But with Pascal on our team, we could have continued to still grow and build and had a guy that wanted to be here, that loved being here, that could have been our representative. He won, you know, most improved player and probably could have won it a couple of seasons. The guy was awesome. He was an all-star multiple times, you know, all NBA. Why do we not want to keep this guy? Highlight him, feature him, continue to let him lead the team and become a league wide, representative of ours and a focal point who could end up one day going into the Hall of Fame as a Raptor and have a career Raptor guy. I mean, I don't know, Masai. I know he's not from here, and maybe it's the angst of being a Torontonian and having these problems. We've had it in other sports. Obviously, we are the hockey mecca, Maple Leaf Gardens. Also, where the first NBA game was played, by the way. Um, which I should have touched on my other video against the when we played the Knicks. But anyway, sorry to digress. But obviously, not a problem for the Leafs. People want to play for the Leafs. I mean, nowadays with all the U.S. expansion, it's nicer to go to a warmer city. Of course, if you're a guy that was born and raised in Red Deer and you froze your toes your entire life. But even for those guys, Toronto's a warm climate. But my point is, hockey's really the only sport where we haven't suffered that. Baseball, back to back, by the way. Jesse Barfield hitting his 40th home run. Um, Baseball was a problem. There's even a joke with that Tom Selleck movie where he's talking to his agent. His agent calls him in. He goes, "Don't tell me I'm getting traded to Canada." That was a big joke. Until the Jays won in '92 and then in '93, and now, sure, we got to pay a bit of a premium for the Blue Jay guys to get them up to Toronto. But the Raptors have still had this stigma. Lots of people don't know about Toronto. Uh, they're 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 hesitant. They think that obviously, yeah, it's a foreign country. I remember Chris Bosh making some ridiculous statements. Now, back then, the internet wasn't quite as prevalent as it is now. He was complaining about the TV channels, and then he didn't have ESPN, and then he should have anyway. Should have got a better package because you could have had ESPN back then, especially if you had a satellite dish. And I'm sure he could have afforded it. But anyway, comments like that. It's hard to get food that they like, even though Toronto, is one of the most international cities in the NBA. Anyway, I'm not going to rant about Toronto. My point is, you can't always get people to sign here. Why not show love to a homegrown talent that you found like a needle in the haystack in the 27th overall pick? He was drafted the same time as Pirtle, which is why they love each other. We could have had the friendship, the bromance, could have continued between Pascal and Jakob, and they could have both led this team to develop our next tier and maybe grab a guy or do some trades or whatever. Like, who knows what would happen with Schroeder and all that sort of stuff if we kept him. Kind of glad Schroeder's out of here. Uh, but maybe we could have traded for the backup center or something like that, a future guy like that for Schroeder and whatever was all packaged off there, or just got a pick and then tried to grab somebody and develop this Jonte Porter guy. Anyway, I know if ifs and buts were candies and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. Uh, and we can all sort of try to rewrite history, and it's what's done is done. It's hard for us to, reverse. But I wanted to reflect on it because Pascal was back today. Obviously, in the highlight package, brought up a lot of memories. Hello. Um, and yeah, it's just sad, sad, sad as a lifelong, Raptor fan. I mean, I'm so old. I remember when there were not the Raptors, and I had to cheer for one of these American NBA teams, right? Started out as the Pistons. First game I ever went to live was in Detroit. And my aunt used to live down there. And then, of course, just MJ dominated, and it was hard to not be a Bulls fan. Um, and then finally we got a team, and it was great, and we've been having trouble. Damon Stoudemire was our first star. Oh, that's what I wanted to get into just quickly before I end this video is yeah, where this guy stands in some of the stats. So just quickly here, let me flip over. Let's look at a little look back at Pascal Siakam. We got games played, fifth overall, points, fifth. This is making a strong argument that Pascal Siakam is the fifth best Raptor, by the way. I went through some of these before I clicked on the video here just to check them out. Assists, guess what? Again, fifth. But I mean, look at the names right here. DeMar DeRozan, another lifer that we maybe, would have liked to have kept. He was a guy that wanted to finish his career here. But okay, nobody's going to cry about that trade. We got a championship. I wish that the guy we had coming back could have been smarter, at least to run it back one time instead of going to LA and being made fun of. But this year, he obviously looks like the assassin that he was in 2019, and they have a chance to possibly do it again. But anyway, sorry, I won't go through every player because I'm trying to just highlight Mr. Pascal Siakam. So in steals, he's 10th. In offensive rebounds, he is 6th. Defensive rebounds, 3rd. Rebounds overall, 3rd. Look at that. Chris Bosh, Jonas Valanciunas, Pascal Siakam. Okay. even higher than the groat. Blocks, he's a little down the list, but he's still top 10 at 9. Field goals made, 5th. Here we go back to being the 5th best Raptor of all time, and would have obviously surpassed. I would just like to have had another guy pass Chris Bosh. Chris Bosh was annoying when he was a Raptor. Yeah, he was okay. He was the featured guy. Look what happened. He had to go down and be the third wheel down to try and win a championship. And so yeah, the Raptors had no chance when that guy was our number one. Anyway, not a Chris Bosh lover. But field goals attempted, Pascal, 5th. Field goal percentage, slips down a tiny bit to 13th. He's got a high volume of shots here, so it's all calmed down. And turnovers, okay, 4th. Not something you want to be in the top 10 there. But 3-pointers made, he's in the top 10. 3-pointers attempted, he's again 5th. 3-point percentage, he drifts a little bit down, but he was getting better. Wait, did I pass him? Oh no. Okay, he's not in the top 20 on 3-point percentage. But that's okay. Personal fouls, he gets right back up there at number 4. This guy's aggressive. He's in there trying to make a difference. Even today, he was playing with 5 fouls, so we know that he fouls. There were games where I'm not saying he's perfect. He used to foul out in games where we needed him to still be in there. Not great. Free throws, though, 5th. Free throws attempted, 5th. Free throw percentage could have been a little better. But again, this guy is a guy. The problem with some of these career stats is that they're muddied by, if you remember the first couple of years of Pascal Siakam being on the Raptors, he was not brought here as a point scorer. He was brought here as a hustle guy. He was brought here as a defensive player. He was brought here as a guy that's going to, give you energy up and down the floor, be a off the bench, like a JYD used to be. Just come in, cause some havoc, rip up the defense, run with the other team, tire them out, and then he developed a shot. And then he developed some handle. And then he turned into the most improved player in the league. And then suddenly he was an obvious number 2 to Mr. Kawhi Leonard to pull off our victory in 2019. And then he stepped up even more as a leader and became all NBA, became all star, became all of the things that this guy said that he wanted to be a top 5 player in the league. And now we've just messed him up also and sent him off to the Pacers. And I watched his video that was, I've been traded, and it was just depressing. It was so horrible to watch. This guy has a goddamn McDonald's product named after him, and we shipped him out of here. Anyway, that's it for me. Thank you for sticking around. Please subscribe, like, comment, do all those sort of things. It really helps me. I've been getting more views lately. I could use some more subscribers. My percentage of subscribers is not great. Also, I'd like to say, Mr. Beast, please run for president, because what's going on right now south of the border is not cool. We've got the 2 oldest candidates of all time beating their own records that they set 4 years ago when they ran to as the oldest people running for president of all time. So I'll save my political videos for the actual political videos that show up here potentially, or I might have to start a new channel. I'm not sure. I'm still debating. But anyway, thanks for watching. Mr. Beast, please run for president. We need you. And thanks for watching. Get you guys. Oh, I might do a little all-star preview prediction thing of who's going to win the dunk contest and the 3-point contest and all that stuff. I'm still debating. I don't even know. But anyway, watch for that. And see you next time. Thanks. Bye.